our Wednesday workshop. I am LaVeta Wetherington, the chair of the Retired School Personnel's Quality of Life Committee for the state, as well as a representative for that committee on 7B. Today we have the great fortune of having a wonderful speaker that I've seen in person, face to face, present several times, and I know that he's going to give you a lot of good information. Michael Gavin is a member of the NEA staff organization as a member of the member benefits, and we're delighted to have him with us today. And we also have our staff person, Carol McLam, who works in the background as our technical assistance for the program. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mike, with one exception to say that I'm in different surroundings today. I have not had a haircut. I am at my daughter's recovering from surgery, so my situation's a little different, but the hair is still there. I don't know why it won't show up on one side. But welcome today.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. And what a great introduction. So I hope I live up to it.
Oh, I know you will.
Yes, I'm here to help out with our members here about some financial budgeting and financial planning. Now, just a little Surgeon General warning. I am not a licensed financial planner. As a matter of fact, let me share my screen right here as soon as I get that. And first of all, can everyone see my screen? Oop. Let's see here. Maximize your financial potential, hands-on approach. Yes, can everyone see it or no? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and you can see my screen?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, good. Because I've done many a presentation where nobody sees it. So let me just get this little disclaimer here first. Whoop, where is it? Oops, you're getting a sneak preview. Let me get it. Okay. Yes, let's see here. Okay, and where did it go? We have a brand new one, so I apologize. Okay. Yes, here we go. Let's get back to sharing again. Okay. Okay. Just let me read this. This presentation represents the situation regulations existing as of the date of the presentation only and may not be accurate at any future date. So vote. Use of this presentation content outside the live presentation is not recommended as information situations do change. Further, today's presentation is intended to provide information and does not consult legal or financial advice. Members are advised to seek counsel for legal, financial, or other relevant professionals about their situation prior to making any decisions. That's my little Surgeon General warning. So I thank you for indulging me on that. But let me get back to the presentation. Today's world is very complex and very expensive. And what I'm going to start out with is probably the first place that we can actually help our financial life right now, and that is debt. Today, debt is harder for us than it has been since probably the last century. Interest rates are very high. There's everyday prices are very high, at least higher than it normally has. And some things we cannot change the prices of, but maybe other things we can. So the first thing is, in order to improve our financial future, let's concentrate on what we have at the moment right now. One thing I want everyone to know that a lot of them are going to be talking about, there are benefits at the NEAMB.org educator.com/start that connect to help reduce reduce some costs for you. Some of them are necessities and some are for the fun things, because life is nothing without fun. I do suggest always take advantage of your membership programs, whether it's being a retired member of the association, or your AAA, or your AARP, USA. Always, always shop your benefits, okay? That way you can get the best of your own deals. I'd rather see you, for example, use your AARP card to go to the movies than not use your AARP card or your NEA member benefits discount in order to save money. So for many of us, if you want to take a moment if you have your phone with you, to sign in using the QR code, or the email address is right at the bottom here. You don't have to be on it right now, of course, but it's nice to have it in there. I would actually make it a habit, maybe bookmark it on your phone, or make a habit to go to this website whenever you're purchasing small things, big things, or thinking about changing big occurrences. Like somebody mentioned financial planners, or your Medicare supplement, which I will go into in a moment. Now, the most effective budgeting that we've seen from Senator Elizabeth Warren actually is the 50-30-20 rule. 20 to 30% of your income, your take-home pay. I know we're retired, but we do receive money, Social Security, pension, 401k, 403b payments. But 20 to 30% should be part of your living expenses, your housing, whether it's including maintenance, which a lot of people don't think about, your rent or mortgage, property taxes. Now, you may or may not have a mortgage right now, but which, if you do not have one, that is good. So your housing can even be less than this, but you still want to budget for the unknown. Maybe your air conditioner breaks down, or maybe you have to get a new roof. Things that you may not want to go to your home insurance or condo insurance policy. So you always want to make sure housing is taken care of. Food, 10 to 15% of your money should be for groceries and dining out. Now, as I mentioned, things are very expensive right now. Hopefully I'm not allowed to get political, but hopefully after November, things go well and groceries prices deflate, go down to a more reasonable amount of money. But try to get the foods to go to 10 to 15% of your take-home pay. Transportation. If you're retired, your cost of transportation, something that we don't think about, should be reduced than what it was when you were working, because every day you had to commute to work. But you still need to go to places, whether it's friends, families, association meetings, parties, doctor's appointments, anything. You still need to budget for this. If you have a car payment, that should be included into it. Insurance, a lot of times we don't think about insurance until it's, we get the bill. But that's important to not only have, but also to look over. And I'll explain that in a moment. Fuel prices go up and down. If you use public transportation, I know it's not popular. It's not a big part of transportation in North Carolina, public transportation, but if you use it, be aware of that as well. Now, utilities are put separate from housing, because I put it in housing and outside of housing, because I wanted to include your cell phone and your internet. A lot of people think that when you think of utilities, they think of just my gas, my water, my electric, but you also want to think of your utilities as your phone and your internet. In today's world, it's very important to have access to communications 24/7. Okay. Whether it's for fun, reaching out to family members or friends, or for emergency situations. So a smartphone has that ability for you to take care of that in case of, so you're always connected to people. So let me just get this. Healthcare, 5 to 8%. Now that is the insurance premiums and out of pocket. I know as we retire, health out of pocket prices can get more expensive. You may want to think of benefits like Medicare supplements, and we'll go through all that as well. But make sure you budget for this. Now, all these categories are not going to be the same for everyone. For example, I mentioned housing. If you do not have a mortgage, then you have a bigger amount of freed up income or than someone like myself who rents or somebody who has a mortgage. Transportation, maybe you don't have a vehicle, so you don't have to pay for gas or parking or maintenance or car insurance. But these are just broad strokes of putting these categories in. Okay. And you still probably will need some kind of housing, some kind of transportation. Like, for example, maybe you don't have a car, you live in the city, but you want to go somewhere, pay for Uber or Lyft, or you want to go and visit people, transportation, airlines, trains, things of that nature. Housing, I don't have mortgage, but maybe I need to watch out for my roof may need maintenance coming up soon. Maybe it's more than 5, 10 years old. So you want to make sure these categories are in your mind. Okay. Loan payments. This is a big one that we're going to go into next about how to best reduce your loan payments. Entertainment, movies, events, hobbies. We should live. You should have fun. So you want to budget it so that fun doesn't hurt you in the long run. I put dining out separate because I live in Washington, D.C. It's a separate food cost for me because A, I'm a horrible cook, and B, I have so many options to walk to that this is where I eat my friends. Clothing. When we worked, our clothing, I don't know if you noticed, our clothing kind of got worn out quicker than when we are working now, or when we are now, so we don't need to update our clothing as much as when we were working. So I would, make sure. Now we do need to update our clothes. Our shoes do wear out. If you're like me, I need another belt with a larger notch. So you do need to budget for these things. I mean, and travel 3 to 5%. This is beyond transportation. Okay. We have, as being retired, we have more free time. So we do want to have the ability to take advantage of that time. Let's see here. And of course, miscellaneous 5 to 7%. For example, we want to give gifts during the holidays. We want to, anything, just little splurges for ourselves, things of that nature. Okay. Now, we should have, we should have emergency fund if possible. As being retired, if you have a 403(b), 401(k), that is part of your income right now. Think of it as your income. And your Social Security and your pension. These are what's known as, again, your income. So if you can save for emergencies, like your vehicle breaks down and it's going to cost more than what you have saved for it to fix the transmission or buy a new vehicle. Um, you broke your glasses and you need them right away before you can get reimbursed. So you get the glasses and then get reimbursed. Kind of like that bridge between the reimbursement. Okay. Now, try if you have debt, try if you can to pay more than the minimum. Okay, 2 to 5% of your savings and debt repayment should be trying to be paying your debt overpayment. Like if your minimum payment on your credit card, I'm just using that as an example, is $100, probably try to pay 110 if you can. Um, let's see here. The biggest thing that I want you to take away with this information, because again, not everything I just mentioned could apply for you, but you still want to have these categories. But the biggest thing is create a budget, create a weekly budget, create a monthly budget, and create a yearly budget. Okay. Uh, Realize life is not etched in stone, so this budget should not be etched in stone. Okay. Like, for example, so in fact, I actually sometimes suggest making two budget plans where you budget one for perfection and budget one for reality. Like, for example, my perfection would be I would be eating kale. My reality is I eat cookies. Okay. So what is there some in between where I can go on that? And maybe that's iceberg lettuce, so when I'm buying things and maybe a cupcake. But do that. In fact, what I find really useful is if you want to start right away, start on Monday, this Monday, to live your life as you normally do. But every single uh pay your dollar that you spend, write down what you spend it on. Whether it's next month is going to be paying for utilities, next month, or you're paying utilities on Monday, Tuesday, you're going to the movies, just like your normal weekly habit. Write everything down from Monday through Sunday. Then the next Monday, look at everything where you spent your money. And where did I spend my money? Is this uh, a, a splurge? Is this a necessity? Can I reduce it? For example, oh, this week I went to Starbucks and I bought an $8 coffee. Is that something that I really need? Or now, this is why it's separate for each person, because I can justify every dollar that I spend on ridiculous things. Okay. But maybe for example, I go to Starbucks, I paid $8 for a cup of coffee when I could make it at home, or I could go to Dunkin' Donuts at $3. But I'm meeting my friends, or this is an activity to be out of the house. Well, is it worth the $8? Maybe should I go to a cheaper place like Dunkin' Donuts or a local mom and pop place? Because while I'm buying that $8 coffee, yes, that's expensive. That's out of my budget of this need. But I also have that $8 is also buying other things for me, like meeting friends, going out, just a break of the day. Uh, Maybe taper that. Maybe don't do it every day of the week. Like I said, go to a cheaper place. Maybe possible have friends come to your house or you go to their house. Think of it this way. Okay. Then after you've done this, look at how much money that comes in either by the week or by the month, whatever way the money comes in, and allocate funds for each category mentioned. Okay. And again, those percentages are very, very good. but they may not apply to you to be that big of a percentage of your income, of your funds. But allocate, but make sure you have each of these categories. And there might be categories you may not even, that I may not mention. For example, many of us, when we become retired, we are daycare for our grandchildren or our nieces and nephews or neighborhood children. Sometimes we want to help out our grown children at times as well. Well, if that's the case, I will put those in a separate category, but include that in your budgeting. Okay, make sure that's a category, because it may be either a consistent payment, like or existing costs, like every month I pay $100 to be with my grandchildren, so that's going to be consistent. But maybe it's not. Maybe this month it's $100, and I'll break out for the rest of my budget for the rest of my year, maybe $10, subtract $10 from my monthly budget to take care of that $100 to make me get back to zero. Okay, set spending limits. I mentioned grandchildren. It's really tough to have spending limits on our grandchildren, but you may not want to do that. But maybe that $8 Starbucks, like, limit that. Maybe, for example, you don't need to buy clothes, but you like the clothes that are going that you see maybe at Kaufman's or online. Well, use your association, use your clubs to get discounts, and as opposed to paying retail for it. And track again. Life is not etched in stone, so there are going to be ups and downs on when you're going to be with your budget, within your budget and without your budget. Do not feel devastated if, when you make this budget, it's either you don't meet your budget. Think, why did I not make my budget? Like, for example, in September, I made my budget for the entire month of September after looking at everything. And in October, I realized, wow, I went way over budget. Well, look at what happened. See, what the key is, it's written down so you can see, well, where did I go over budget? Oh, well, I had extra car repairs in September. Is that going to be a monthly situation? Or I just I splurged on a big vacation. Is that going to be an annual? Is that going to be the same thing every month? If no, okay, then what you can do for your October budget is try to, well, you were already not going to spend that extra amount of money, okay? Because that September payment was a one-time payment. It could also be that when you made your first budget, it was not in reality for you. It's like you forgot, oh, well, I always do this event, or my air conditioning, my utility bill, it did exceed my assumptions, or so it's okay to adjust your budget. The important thing is to think about it. Have it written down helps you think about it. I mentioned paying off, debt. Again, maybe we don't have a mortgage, or maybe we do have a mortgage, but that's traditionally the lowest interest of the debt that you have. Usually, credit cards are the highest interest payments. Personal loans, student loans, car payments, they're usually higher. It doesn't matter what you have. List all of your debts, okay? And if you're helping out a family member, yes, it doesn't, like, you've given out, consider that a debt as well, okay? And I'm not saying a debt from them. I'm saying put that in the categories of your debt for your own personal budget. Okay. Now, prioritize paying off the highest interest rate debt first. Uh, for example, you have a mortgage and you have a credit card. Usually the credit card is more expensive. So start with that one. Now, if you have a mortgage, a car payment, and a credit card, like just look at the interest rate. Usually the interest rate on the credit card will be the highest of the three. Sometimes the car loan payment will be lower than the mortgage, but that's your own personal situation. So make sure you start off one, pay off the minimums, of course, of all, but try to pay a little bit more on the highest interest. This is called the debt snowball or the debt avalanche. Um, let's see here. Yes. Debt avalanche lists all the debts by descending interest rates. For example, my credit card is 20%, my mortgage is 15%. My boat, if you bought one, that might be 10%, like put all that situations down. Car payment, all that. And list all the debts, make minimum payments on all. Because if you miss one, that is worse than if you pay more 1 month on. Like if you pay on a credit card, your interest rate or your monthly payment is $100, and you decide, well, this month I'm going to pay $200 so I can skip next month. That's not what happens. If you pay $100, like what you agreed to pay as the minimum each month, that is better than than skipping months. Because if you skip a month, that actually hurts your credit. And because it hurts your credit, future payments will raise in interest rates, and your current debt may increase as well. So that credit card might be 20% because you missed a payment. They may go up to 26%. Therefore, every monthly payment will be more. Okay. And so repeat until all debts are paid. Okay. This is the same scenario. Instead of an avalanche, we do uh, uh, a snowball. Now, in other words, speed versus success. I mentioned a lot of people think, oh, I'll put all my money this month in one credit card and skip all my other payments. That actually hurts you. Okay. Because like I said, that month you skip could potentially increase future interest rate, future payments on interest, but also now will affect your current payments, more than likely. Now, plan for taxes. Taxes can be very confusing when we're retired. We had someone ask about getting a financial planner. We'll talk about that in a moment, but you do need to understand taxes can change dramatically, particularly when we retire. For example, so you need to understand your tax obligations, but maximize your tax deductions and credits. If you have a payment, a mortgage, that's important. If, for example, you're taking care of an adult child, or you are the dependent, say, for example, you're the only your spouse is not receiving Social Security or pension or any kind of income. And please, if there's any questions, I think I heard some. Please don't hesitate to put it in chat or ask right away. Let's see here. Save for tax payments if necessary. And you think, well, what does that mean? Well, life changes happen. For example, maybe you want to downsize this year from you had a mortgage and or you had a home, but you need to downsize. And so you go from the big family home to a condo, and there might be tax implications of the differences of the selling of the previous home. Maybe unfortunately, our spouse has passed away, or a dependent has passed away, or maybe you are the receivership of benefit of some kind of inheritance, or I'm trying to think. Hello, there's other kind of ways that could affect your taxes that you need to be aware of. Whoop. Okay, and always, if you, when in doubt, seek professional financial advice. Okay. Now, protecting the family. You need to evaluate your insurance needs, your life, health, disability, property, etc. Um, Life insurance. There are two types of life insurance: term life insurance and whole life insurance. Okay. Term life insurance with the NEA does offer is a type of life insurance that's really helpful when there's income coming into the household, but that needs to be replaced. If you or your loved one, your spouse passes away, either one of you would need that income replacement. However, with term life insurance, it's exactly that. It's a term life insurance where after certain ages, it was really there to protect, to replace income like salaries and other kind of benefits that do not that change as we get older. So after certain ages, like for example, if you're 82 years old, the term life insurance policy will not have the same value as it did when you were younger. The face value is greater than the actual reality. What does that mean? Say you bought a policy when you're 50 years old and it's $100,000 life insurance policy. Well, what that does is that's to protect, the salary, the income of up to $100,000 worth of coverage. But when you're 80 years old, that $100,000, the true value of it may be $10,000. So if you have a term life insurance policy, you should look over the information if you're and see, the value of it as you get older. This may be a policy you no longer need. So if you're 80 years old, now you may still need that 10%. Your loved one may need that 10% value, that $10,000 from the 100,000. But just be aware that, is this investment, am I getting a return on my investment there? Whole life insurance, that maintains its value, its face value throughout the policy. In fact, this is a type of policy that you hear. It used to be before 401ks and 403bs and IRAs. This was it was kind of like an investment, for your future, for your retirement. And also you may have seen commercials about selling your life insurance, for a profit or for income. These are type of things I would talk to an independent financial planner about if it's worth it. But that's neither here, but I'm not an expert on that. So just like reverse mortgages, I'm not an expert on those two subjects. So I would not give a recommendation one way or the other. But that's what you would want to get a financial a planner about. But include the Medicare supplement on that, and choose the appropriate insurance policies and the levels. I mentioned the term life insurance. Maybe, for example, for your auto insurance, you still have what's known as comprehensive and collision coverage on your 1985 Buick car, and you determine what is the value of this car. Do I need comprehensive collision on this vehicle? And if I do, should I have higher deductibles on comprehensive and collision? I personally like to keep comprehensive collision, but that's my personal choice. One reason why is because I rent cars a lot for work, but also even if my car is only worth $2,000, that's a lot of money that out of my pocket that I was not expecting. So if I have comprehensive and collision coverage and my deductible is $500, I will pay $500 and I'll receive $1,500 for the vehicle. But that's my personal choice. Maybe you see the value, you see the value of that vehicle and you think, wow, I don't really need that. On the reverse, you probably have not looked at, if you own your home or a condominium, you probably have not looked at the policy in a long time. You may need to think about, quite a bit more. For example, the most popular homeowners and condo insurance coverage for protecting the home is $100,000 and sometimes $300,000. Well, the cost of replacing housing has skyrocketed. So you may need to think of, oh, I should increase my homeowners insurance there, or maybe I need to decrease it. You need to make sure that you're covered. Um, there's been a lot of issues with housing prices, but also housing repairs in the last few years. Speaking of home insurance, there's a section there for incidental things like furniture, jewelry, uh, guns, electronics, things of that nature. But what that is that's a set limit of everything. So you might have in most policies in the standard what's called HO3, HO4, HO6, HO8 policies. What they cover, so the jewelry might be a maximum of $2,500 worth of coverage. That's for total. That's for everything from your fake jewelry to, your Taylor Swift jewelry, friendship bracelet, to your grandmother's wedding ring, or to your grandfather's watch. If you have something that is of higher value, you may want to get a rider on your insurance, on your homeowners, renters, condo insurance for that specific piece. For example, you have an engagement ring and get it appraised and it's worth $10,000. What you would want is you want a rider on your policy to cover that specific piece of jewelry for up to $10,000. Now, to do that, you would have to get an appraisal, and that appraisal has to be updated usually every 2 to 5 years, depending on the state that you're living in. Because that's another thing too. If you're a snowbird, or if you are if you live in different states or you plan on moving, make sure you know the laws of each state for everything we're talking about here. Power of attorney is one thing in one state. In the state of North Carolina may mean one thing. In Florida may need to have other stipulations for that, just like with your insurances. So make sure you're aware of these, okay, of these different situations. Now, I mentioned earlier, but you always should monitor your progress on this debt, okay? Check your credit score. If you can check your credit score, or I should say you can check your credit rating every 12 months for no cost, okay? Usually they include a credit score with it now, but it's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Okay, they're the three credit union, the credit monitoring places that every company most companies use. Like it's also important not only to check your credit score for yourself and to see if everything's right, but monitor your credit to see if everything's accurate. Whether somebody has placed a purchase under your name make sure to take that off. But maybe there's also just simple mistakes. For example, I will never forget my father in the 2000s was paying for concert tickets for my brother that my brother paid on a credit card that he never paid because they had the same first and last name and even middle name. So just make sure everything's accurate. Uh, you know, the people at the credit monitoring system, they're human. So human error is occurring. Now, everything I just told you here, I basically want you to you want to tailor everything, your budgeting plan to um, your own personal way. The whole key to this exercise I've just mentioned is to change what you call your neural network. Get out of your comfort zone, your traditional, your standard, I do this, I do this, I do this, and therefore that happens, that happens, that happens. What I want you to do is there's a lot of things. Think outside your own personal box. That's why I want you to create this. That's what creating the budget does. Just like I said, human error at the credit monitoring companies. We're going to do our own human error. Like I said, maybe I totally forgot. I did not include a subscription to Disney Plus or Netflix, or maybe I have a monthly food uh, 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 delivery service that I never use. That's what, and because I just forget about it. So the exercises of planning your own personal budget not only writes it down for you to track and gives you a lot of, it tries to relieve the stress of the unknown. It also helps you find places where you're spending money that you don't even realize. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Whoop, no, that is not all. So let me get into some of the different programs that I've mentioned on neamb.com. A big policy. Whoop, let me get this. Let's see here. Let's see here. Share. I want you to know about this is not only the discounts and programs, but the information as well. Like you could get in North Carolina and South Carolina, all over the country, you could get discounted auto insurance. I mentioned the life insurance, but like I said, maybe a term life insurance is not right for you at this time. Entertainment, and I'll get to if I have time, but I also want to get into the information part for you. We have consumer guides on here that are useful for one of them could be spell check, but Medicare supplement that can be useful for you in your pursuit of finding out the pursuit of find out what's right for you. Articles, ABCs of Medicare plans. This is a great one to understand which coverage is right for me, which one's not right for me, what each one entails. There's this nice little chart that makes it simpler for you. Because this has been a very complicated program and you do have to enroll every year. So, it also describes not just in a chart, but in detail what each part coverage offers. The Medicaid gap, coverage A and B, your drug costs with D policy, Advantage plans. You can purchase a program through the NEA member benefits through us right here. But this is an objective, what they all mean. Okay. So, for example, if you want to go on another route than the NEA, use this plan to help out for it. Now, somebody mentioned financial planner. The NEA has a personal The NEA has actually an endorsed company called Security Benefit. And what happens, there's a lot, first of all, there's a lot of articles that not only planning for retirement, tax planning for retirement, and preparing retirement plannings, but there are these articles, but I assume everyone online is retired right now. So there are articles that can help with you in retirement, but also a resource to show where a financial planner is beneficial for you, or who can help you out, do a one-on-one consultation, either in person or on the phone. Let me just see here. This is another great section of articles of tips that help you thrive, ways to limit your tax hit in retirement, personal educator. Well, can personal educators collect Social Security? In North Carolina, I believe that is perfectly fine. But in some states like Kentucky, which if you live out west is kind of close to you, you may have some friends who do not have access to Social Security. How do I plan for vacations without going into debt? I mentioned the fun stuff. These are just like, let's go into this real quickly. Besides using the NEA member benefits discount program for travel, it gives you tips on how to do it. Like maybe I want to start, you know what? I've always wanted to do a cruise to Alaska and forget about where I'm going to buy it from. Here are tips to get this vacation of a lifetime without have a lifetime of paying for it afterwards. You know, start saving now, even if you don't have specifics on it. And, you know, I could go into the whole article for you, but I just want to use an example. It's great ways to, just because I feel I cannot spend, I do not have the money to have that great, glorious vacation, doesn't mean I cannot save for it. And if I put this in my monthly budget to save for, whether it's $100 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can put away. And again, that's when you make this budget, when you're thinking about going to Starbucks for that $8 coffee, and I don't mean to jump on Starbucks, but it's an $8 coffee. But it's like, do I want this $8 coffee now, or do I want to put $5 away to save for that ultimate vacation? You know, there's other articles, 6 simple steps to build a stress-free budget. All these type of consumer guides to help you out on your way. Now, let me just see here. Planning with a financial professional. Okay, start planning now. Now, just because this is it's called the NA Retirement Plan for Planning for Retirement, the financial planners can and do work with our retired members as well. Maybe that you need help with your 403B rollover, but let me see if I can find. I'm just looking now that they. Here we go. Whoop. Nope, there's no link there. Can I? Okay. So let me see if I can find here. Choose your approach. It gives you tips on what to do by yourself, but you want a financial planner. They changed this website, the website on me on this. Okay. And looks like it's in a loop. You know what? Until I get information on this, let me put in comments my email address. Let's just see here. If you have any questions for anything, but if you like, hey, I live in Asheville and I would like to help, I would like help finding a financial planner that is endorsed by the NEA or Raleigh or wherever of that nature. You know, I'll be able to contact Security Benefit to see who they have. But again, there's great, I mentioned there's great discounts on here, but I want you to realize that there's a lot of great information too. Now, as I mentioned, the benefits of discounts, there is a big things for travel, but Discount Marketplace, I love this because there's a place for buying discounted tickets. Like say, for example, you're going on that big family vacation to Disney World. Well, because you're a member of the NEA, you have access to discounted, if I could get access, if I could sign in, you have access to discounted Disney and Universal tickets. But maybe you don't want a big thing like that. Maybe you just want movie tickets. Okay. Well, you could go AMC Theater, Regal, show all the movie ticket discounts. So think of the discount tickets as everything from as small as a movie theater to as big as Disney World, okay, or concerts or anything of that. But maybe, that's not what I'm looking for. Maybe I need to buy a big ticket item, or I'm a member of a company called Rakuten. Rakuten is a company where instead of getting discounts, you get cash back. And if you're, I'm not sure if anyone's ever heard about it, but it's a very popular program where Rakuten, you get quarterly checks for payment for purchasing items, from like Kaufman's, Nike, like electronics, coffee shops, grocery stores, like Food Lion in many places, Giant in many places, to buy an entire living room, dining room set. Well, as a member of the NEA, you could get more than the more cash back on items than non-members to Rakuten. If you have a Rakuten account now, you just put in your NEA membership information, and then you're all set. So I've talked quite a bit, and I'm just wondering now, I would like to open up for questions. I want to honor everyone's time. Does anyone have any questions?
They certainly have been a very good audience.
Yeah. We
I
have.
want to ask a question.
Sure.
Sharon, yeah.
Hi.
Tell me a little more about the cash back. How does that work?
Oh,
getting cash back.
Sure. So when you go to neamb.com/start, you
Okay.
click, think of that website as like your cyber mall. Okay. And what you do, you just register. Well, in fact, I will show it to you right now. Let me get here. Okay. Does everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How about now?
Yes.
Okay. So you go to Discount Marketplace.
Okay.
And does everyone see NEA Discount Marketplace?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. So there's a list of all these stores. Okay. Staples, Nike, but also different categories. Like maybe I want food and restaurants, food, drinks, and restaurants. And but I don't want all of them. I just want groceries and box things. So like here, CVS. I will get all my purchases, not prescriptions, but all my purchases at CVS, I could get 5% back. So I buy from here, and I get, like say I buy $100 worth of items, and I'll put $500, or get $5 in my account. And then next week, or then I want to buy some, I want to buy another item. Let's see, from another company, and then like say I'll go back to their share. Nope. Go back to the Discount Marketplace, share that screen. So I have $5 from CVS, but maybe also I want some electronics. Let's see here. Maybe I'll get I don't know what any of this is. Apple. I buy a laptop and I get 2% back. And say that 2% is $100. I don't, because I can't do math. So that $100 and $5 are in my account. So every quarter it'll add up and I'll get one check for all my purchases in that quarter for that amount. So if it's only those 2 items, I'll get a check for $105. Does that help?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm just looking.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also, this may change, by the way, on zip codes, what discounts are. Like I live in Washington, D.C., so my zip code is different. And so it might have, like it has giant grocery store by me for discounts, but it might not be around you. It might have Food Lion or whatever's a grocery store around you.
Okay.
Or local
Right.
local restaurants.
Okay.
Let's see here. Somebody questioned that they have 4 charge cards, but they don't need the use of them. Should I close all those accounts? Will it hurt my credit score? Possibly. That is a very good question. Possibly. If you close them all off at once, then yes. Because it is a very high potential that'll affect your credit. Now, if you close them off gradually within a 12-month period or an 18-month period, that should not be a problem. Now, I would also recommend, and again, I don't know the specifics, but when you are thinking about closing accounts, be aware of the length of time you've had that credit, because the longer you had that open line of credit actually helps you. So say, for example, of my 4 credit cards, I got one in 2007, and my most recent one I got in 2023. The 2007 one shows I have a long history of credit with that credit card longer than 2023. Now, both of them may have the same options with you. I would recommend, if you're thinking about closing one, contact, like say, for example, you know what, I'm going to close the 2023 one. I would actually contact them and say, look, I'm thinking about closing this account. I don't really use it. I don't need it. They may actually be able to do something for you to benefit you in the long run, whether it's get you into a better program. You may actually, because there's so few, that 2007 credit card and that 2023 credit card, they may be the same company. So you also be aware of that. So if you're like, you know what, I don't need any of them, or I just need one, keep in mind which one is the longest. That is a factor. Keep also the one which has the best interest rates for you. And if there's any other options you like frequent flyer miles or cash back or anything like that. So make sure you're aware of which ones, and maybe like if they're all the same, I would start cutting take off one. And you may also need to think of of those 4 cards. If one is a Discover card and an American Express card, you may think or a Visa or MasterCard, like if you have all 4, which ones are used you have access to usage everywhere. You know, not everywhere in the world accepts Discover. Now, if that's not an option, a problem for you, then continue with that. So again, it's on an individual basis, but these are things to think about. I will say, if you cut them all off at once, that could affect you. So long story short is, don't cut them all off at once. Let's see here.
Mm-hmm. Hey, thank you.
Sure.
Well, we want to thank you, Mike, for your wonderful presentation. Again, I always enjoy the presentation and hearing more about things that I need to remember to do, because you need that annual review, or at least a periodic review of your financial status, and looking at your credit cards and other things to be sure you're getting the best bang for your buck, which we retirees really do appreciate.
Absolutely.
I'd like to thank Carol for being our technical assistant today, and I would like to thank our wonderful audience for participating. I will remind you that for our September Wednesday workshop, instead of having one session on our state health plan renewal that's coming up, we're encouraging our members to sign up for one of the workshops being offered through the state. We did try to work with them to set up one specifically for us, but it seemed like they preferred that we go the route of having you sign up for one of theirs. So that's what we're asking you to do, so that you can be prepared to make your health insurance choices in the month of October when we have open enrollment. And that information was also included on the invitation that went out for this session. And I'm sure Carol will be sharing that again for our members so that they can get signed up. And with that, I'd like to say once more, thank you to everyone. And I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. And no, I didn't cut my hair. So thank you very much. Goodbye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Michael.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Stay
Doctor.
safe.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Just like she said.
Thanks. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
This was great.